Hi everyone and welcome to another video from Depreciation-The. In this video we'll be talking about something that is very serious for you as a car owner, yet it is very disregarded, and that is car depreciation. If you're thinking about buying a new car or even a used one, this is something you must consider in order to avoid losing a huge amount of money in the long run. Also, there is a bonus tip at the end of the video, so stay tuned.
Depreciation-The. Be sure to visit us at our website Depreciation-The, where you can find more useful car and driving tips.
So first, I'll just mention what car depreciation is. It is the loss of value of your car. So for instance, if you bought it for, let's say, $30,000 or 30,000 euros, after 2 years, it's worth 20,000 euros. Those 10,000 euros between is car depreciation, so a loss of value. Also, there is no other product like the car that loses value so fast. It's a complicated product, very hard to make. It's very long lasting in most cases, but it's a big loser in value. So when you think about it, do you really want to lose those 10,000 euros in the long run or in a short period of time? Most car depreciation happens within a couple of years. Do you really want to lose that kind of money? You can do all sorts of things with that kind of money. Of course not. In order to avoid that, you must acknowledge the car depreciation. Why am I saying this? Well, lots of people out there, when buying a car, are not aware of this. And once they do buy it, they are stunned when they want to sell the car in a couple of years, in 3 or 4 years, which lots of people do, they see that they lost that money. So as sort of a first tip, I would tell you to first acknowledge that car depreciation is real and take it into consideration, especially when buying a new car. The next tip is to know the car market in your country. Now, I know when you hear this, this may sound a bit tedious, and boring, but this is very useful. So you don't have to go into any kind of big research. There are 2 simple things you can do. That is, A, to watch the traffic around you and see what people drive. After some time, you'll see what they drive the most. And the other thing is to look on the internet, see some reviews, go and see what are the prices, see what are the listings of what people drive the most, and so on. Trust me, if you have this kind of knowledge, it will help you choose a car that will have less depreciation in the long run. Next, wisely choose what brand of car are you going to buy. This is immensely important. Don't screw up with this part. Now, I know you may be tempted to buy a car that you like. You may like the looks. You may like how the car drives from a certain brand. You may get a good price because that brand isn't popular in your country. Whatever the case is, avoid that. Closely, again, related to the previous topic. If you know the car market in your country, then you'll know what to buy. For instance, I'll make an example in my country. Brands that are immensely popular are Skoda, Volkswagen, Mercedes, Audi, and so on. These cars always have a good resale value, always hold their ground very good, and it is almost guaranteed for you to sell it. One more thing when choosing a good brand, if you decide to keep the car, even later it will be easy to sell because there will be someone to buy it. People still buy 25-year-old Skodas without any problems, especially the Fabias and Octavias. On the other side, I will make an example, and please don't take this as bad-mouthing any car brand. I have huge admiration for all car manufacturers. I'll take the example of the Alfa Romeo, which is a good car, very nice to drive, very beautiful. The car has a catastrophic depreciation. So if you bought it new, and I think this is the case in most European countries, in the first 4 or 5 years, it goes down 40, I think even 50%. This is a rough estimate. And that's just money lost. Money thrown away, burnt in the fire, that's it, you don't have it anymore. If you understand my point on this part, buy the car wisely. A good brand will ensure that the car loses minimal value, and that's money in your pocket. If you buy a brand that you like that is not popular, you're gonna have a big problem. Besides the car brand, pay attention to what model do most people drive in your country? Do they like pickup trucks? Do they like hatchbacks? Do they like station wagons? Do they like convertibles? And so on. This is a very important factor, just like the car brand. If you buy something, for instance, if you buy a convertible in your country because you like it and nobody drives it, the resale value and the depreciation will be very, very steep. For instance, if you buy a big pickup truck in Europe, where in most cases you have no roads to drive it in, I don't know how you're gonna go with reselling it. If people drive hatchbacks, if people like station wagons, that's the car you want to buy. If people like station wagons, that may be the sole purpose why the car may hold its value, even if it's not a popular brand. Next, super important thing to avoid car depreciation is to maintain the car properly. You should do this on two fronts. That is to maintain the mechanics on the car, and of course this is in your interest regarding safety. And second, to maintain the interior of the car, and of course maintain the car body. I'll make an example again. You buy a brand new Skoda. In 4 years, if you drive it like a wild man, and you essentially have a chicken coop at the end of those 4 years, you will get serious depreciation regarding that. Perhaps want to sell your car, say it's a 4-year-old car, I bought it new and so on, but everybody who opens the door and sees torn interiors, a shabby steering wheel, when someone opens the hood and sees that there are oil leaks, coolant leaks, if they see bald tires and everything else, nobody will want to buy that car for the price it deserves. For instance, a 4 or 5-year-old used Skoda costs here something like, I'm gonna make a rough estimate, around 20,000 euros. But if it's in bad condition, you're bound to lose at least 5,000 euros, because there's gonna be a lot of repairs and it's not in good condition. The best advice on this part I can give to you is to do regular maintenance on time and to clean your car on a regular basis as much as you can, okay? Don't keep it like a pig stack, you don't have to be precise and every time there's a crumb you run with the vacuum cleaner, but at least twice a month vacuum and clean the interior. Regarding the mechanics, you've seen a ton of repairs you can do on your own on this channel, a ton of ways to notice what's the problem, but the main point is to do all of it on time. Closely related to the previous topic, when doing mechanical maintenance, oil changes, belt changes of all kinds, timing belt, serpentine belt, everything else, even tire changes, changing anything on the suspension system and everything else, make a record of everything. In most services and dealerships, when you go and do some sort of maintenance, they write it down, you have your maintenance book, there is perhaps an electronic record of the maintenance. If you don't have that, write it down, and if you want to keep your own records, be sure to keep the receipts. If you have a clean and precise maintenance record, especially if you bought the car new, that is worth gold. Again, I'll make an example. I'm sorry if I'm boring. If you're selling a car for 20,000 euros and you say you have a clean, precise, true maintenance record, you're going to get that money. There's not going to be a lot of bargaining. But if you have a car where you only have hearsay, despite the fact that you may have done all the maintenance, you're going to not sell it for 20,000, but at least it's going to go for 18,000. You're going to lose money. So one good thing that will also help in avoiding car depreciation is having a good, clean and true, precise maintenance record. The next piece of advice is to watch how you drive or watch your driving habits. Now you may ask, why can this be important regarding car depreciation? Well, again, the better the condition the car is, the less depreciation it will have. If you're a fan of putting pedal to the metal, of dangerous driving, of revving up the car to maximum revs all the time, and that kind of hot rod driving, know that it will damage the car in the long run. Even if you buy it brand new, in a matter of 4 or 5 years, it will be demolished. So of course nobody will want to buy a damaged car. Have this in mind. It's all about the long run. The better driving habits you have, the better the condition of the car will be and the better the value will be. And last on this list is a personal recommendation of mine, and that is to avoid any kind of car modifications unless you really want to do it. Again, I would not want to badmouth anything. I admire people who do all kinds of modifications, make those beautiful, sleek, sporty cars and everything else. But in this video, we're talking about the regular situation, and car modifications are not welcome in that. Lots of people, even when buying new cars, add different kinds of rims, which is okay to some extent, but add spoilers, stickers, do additional paint jobs, so-called tattoos on the car and everything else. And know this, if you're going to do it, it's a personal thing of yours. I wouldn't want to comment on that, but know this is all a matter of taste. Just like if you have this shirt and you like it very much, but the next person says it's hideous. So it's the same with the car. What you like, the next person will probably not like. So if you made some sort of modification, and especially if you made intrusive modifications to the car where you've cut up the car body, where you've done things with the engine and everything else, I'm sorry to say, but in the majority of cases, people do not like that. And in the majority of cases, you will not get the money you want when you want to sell the car. Again, this goes even for popular brands. I'll mention the Skoda again. If you buy a new Octavia, which is a very good car, and you put different trims, you put a spoiler, you put, some sort of stickers on it. Trust me, that value is going to go down. Unless you sell it in a market that has interest with that, but that is, at least in my country, pretty rare. I've seen people do terrific modifications. The car looks simply great and they just can't sell it. Nobody wants it. I guess people presume that they have been driven very enthusiastically and they just run away from it. So, if you want to keep the car's value as high as possible, best avoid any kind of modifications. Rims and tires, that's tolerable. Everything else, again, that's intrusive to the engine and to the car body, avoid that. For the end of this video, I would like to give you one more humble piece of advice. Take it with a grain of salt because everybody has their own opinion and you should do what you think is best for you and your budget. But over the years, I've seen that this is absolutely the best method for avoiding a loss of money regarding cars. And that is, instead of buying a new car, buy the same model that is 4, 5, 6, or whatever years older than that. Now, you may say that this may be risky, that this may be a problem or whatever, but what you essentially get with doing this is that you buy the same car minus the depreciation. Somebody has already paid for that depreciation. That is just the truth of it. But there is a twist to this. I would recommend to buy these cars from renowned dealerships that have some sort of arrangements where they take in used cars and sell new ones. What I've seen, and this is the case even in my country, lots of dealerships have these offers where you can buy this kind of car, so it's 4, 5, 6, or 7 years old. In most cases, they are in pristine condition. In most cases, they have good maintenance records. In most cases, the interior is just like new. And in most cases, the car body is in very good condition. The paint job, there's almost no scratches and everything else. So that's my advice. Of course, the best thing for any car owner is to buy a new car. It is the safest thing to do. It is, the most fulfilling thing to do. But if you want to avoid car depreciation, try to buy the 4, 5, 6, 7-year-old car. You'll perhaps have to do the same drill when buying a used car. Go over car dealerships, car lots, and everything else. But when you buy it, you'll save a ton of money, trust me. So that's it for this time. I hope this video helps. As always, please like and subscribe. It's a huge help for what we're doing. Watch our other videos. I think you'll find lots of advice regarding cars, car maintenance, and car-related topics. Thank you for watching, and thank you for your time.